If you want to find out about how to make a stove stand, an improvised water filter and learn some do's and don'ts of wild camping, stay tuned. If you've got a meths burner and no stand to use it with, it's quite easy to make one. You need a tin can that's the right size, a beer can opener and a pair of pliers. First of all, crimp down the sharp edges. Once the sharp edges are crimped down, we're going to put some holes in 3/4 of the tin to allow the oxygen in and keep the wind out to a reasonable degree. These holes will allow the air in and just to stop the pot wobbling too much, we'll put one in the other side. So now all we need to do is drop in our burner and away we go. Obtaining potable water is an absolute must for anyone at home or in the outdoors, especially bearing in mind that most of the world's diseases are waterborne. The handkerchief water filter is in a number of prepper, survival, bushcraft handbooks and also on the internet. But does it work? I'm going to try it out. I started by taking water from our local seasonal pond, much beloved by dogs and especially mine. I photographed it as soon as I had it in the bottle. I let it stand for 3 days and then for 3 weeks. This was the result. A lot of the sediment had fallen to the bottom, but it was still not clear. I've shaken it up again to get it ready for using with the filtering neckerchief. This neckerchief is the type I tend to use in the field anyway. Here we have all the items we require. It's 12:20, lunchtime on day 1, and the system is set up. The dirty water's in 1 cup, half the bandana is wet, the other half is dry. I'm just going to leave it to see how it gets on. After 2 hours, the bandana's damp all the way through, but there's no water in the second container. After 12 hours, we've got water in the lower container. Not very much, but it's a start, and it looks a lot cleaner than the source. Here we have the situation after 20 hours. We have about 1 inch in the bottom of the lower container. So it is working, but not very quickly. So this is what it looks like after over 60 hours. It's time to conclude the experiment, see how much water we've lost through evaporation. We can see the original water and the filtered water. The filtered water isn't that clear. It's not that bad either, but it's not that good bearing in mind the amount of time it's taken. The top daytime temperatures have been around 20 Celsius. We can see that about 1/3 of the water has been lost. Yes, this method works. It's slow and it's not very effective, but it does work. Wild camping is usually illegal. So if you're going to wild camp, you need to make sure that you're not seen or you leave signs that bring people to your location. If you can, use existing paths. Don't create new ones because people will notice them and follow them. Don't leave fire damage and rubbish. It just annoys people. Don't destroy the local vegetation. Use some sort of camouflage netting. As I'm walking along, I notice some rubbish and damage that shouldn't be here. It's totally out of character. This leads me on to somebody's shelter that they built. It's slightly off the beaten track, easy to get to, but the litter points out that it's interesting and it's worth coming here to have a look. If you're going to wild camp, go ahead, but don't leave any trails to guide people in and don't leave any rubbish when you go out. There's no need to destroy nature when you could carry a fly sheet or a tent half. Get out there, get training. You know it makes sense. It'll serve you well. A few weeks later, the cabin in the woods was gone, although the blue tent does remain in situ.